Hello and welcome back to a brand new Round 2 Wrestling podcast here on the 11th of July, 2023. I am your host with the most wrestling information, SlimmDa KID, and we have an absolute information-packed episode for you, the fan, to enjoy this week. We have a few rumors to discuss and go over at the beginning of this podcast. We will then move over into something a bit more real and actual factual with pro wrestling news. Plenty of title matches and those exclusive results here exclusively on Round 2 Wrestling for you, the fan. And then we will conclude this podcast with a fan and producer favorite, Did You Know Pro Wrestling Facts. However, we are at Round 1 and we are going to kick off this brand new Round 2 Wrestling podcast with what ifs and maybes. This is the Pro Wrestling Rumor Mill. Fightful claims Tyler Breeze is still under a deal to WWE through Up, Up, Down, Down, and apparently it includes language that restricts him from appearing on any AEW programming. So if you're looking to see Tyler Breeze on your favorite AEW TV show, you're not going to be seeing him anytime soon. Jim Ross revealed he doesn't have much time left on his AEW contract, but said he's not worried about what happens when it does, as he just wants to enjoy helping younger talents for however long he's there. It's no secret Jim Ross has been suffering from some health issues lately. Whether or not this impacts his decision to stay with the company and or if AEW extends an extension to him on his current contract has yet to be seen. Diamante has been bumped up to a full-time contract with AEW per Fightful Select. However, the site's sources tell them she isn't on an all-elite graphic level deal yet. PW Insider says another wrestler, Trench of Swerve Strickland's short-lived mogul affiliates, exited AEW recently when his contract expired. This was the overly beefy white guy who had way too many tattoos that we never saw do anything during his tenure with AEW. According to Fightful Select, there has been contact between AEW and Kota Ibushi. Many people in the company believe Ibushi will join the promotion soon, at least for Blood and Guts. This Wednesday we will find out the mystery partners for both factions, that is the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club. It is rumored that he will be joining one of those two for this upcoming Blood and Guts match in Boston, Massachusetts. According to WrestleNomics, WWE's next Saudi Arabia show is scheduled for Saturday, November 4th. Andrew Zarian notes that after the success of SmackDown at Madison Square Garden this past week, WWE will, quote, be considering running a much smaller stage setup in the future, end quote. AEW does plan to finally have a singles match between Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee at some point, according to Fightful Select. This needs to happen sooner rather than later, in my personal opinion. Per PW Insider, Bull Nakano will be involved in the new promotion looking to bring Japanese women's wrestling to the United States that the site reported on last week. This is interesting as Japanese wrestling has had an up and down success rate here in the United States, and Japanese women's wrestling, at least to my knowledge, has never been pushed at least very hard. This is an interesting angle, and we here at Round 2 Wrestling will be sure to keep up on any of these rumors that turn into news as it comes out. We are done with the Round 1 rumor mill, and we are going to move over to something a bit more real, a bit more actual factual. This is Round 2 Pro Wrestling News. Health concerns have once again sidelined a popular WWE superstar. WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler will not be able to appear at the Gathering 4 in August. Announced on Tuesday, Lawler will unfortunately not be able to appear at the annual Gathering Wrestling Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina, due to his ongoing health issues. Although the King is better and getting better, the stroke he suffered earlier this year is still impacting several aspects of his daily life, most importantly, his speech. It was previously reported in March that WWE's Bray Wyatt was dealing with an illness. A few months ago, Wyatt was seen out in public and seemed to be in good spirits. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reported that Wyatt is still not medically cleared to make an in-ring return. No timetable was announced for a potential in-ring return, nor any details pertaining to the injury that has kept him sidelined for so long. The working relationship between MLW and Fight TV will continue. The partnership started with MLW's Never Say Never pay-per-view airing on Fight Plus on Saturday night. Major League Wrestling announced 4 more specials that will air on Fight Plus as part of their partnership between the two sides. They are MLW Fury Road, MLW Slaughterhouse, MLW Fightland, and MLW One Shot. These are all pay-per-views that will be airing between September and December of this year. Longtime wrestler finally trademarks his in-ring name after decades of use. Former WCW, TNA Wrestling, and AAA wrestler Conan did so on July 6th with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Former WWE developmental talent Danny Giomondo is slated to appear in court on charges of a DUI and possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. The Florida police officer who responded to Giomondo's calling noted that Giomondo was sweating with an odor of alcohol coming from his breath and person. Giomondo stated he was heading to a rehab facility after relapsing on alcohol and earlier in the day drank Tito's and is currently on benzos, quote unquote. Giomondo was subsequently arrested for these violations. Giomondo remains incarcerated as he has been, thus far, unable to post the $10,000 bond. Impact wrestlers got engaged over the weekend. Trey Miguel and Ashley D'Amboise got engaged in Paris, France on Saturday. However, Amboise suffered a broken ankle the following day on a show for APC in Nanterre, France. And I'm sorry if I slaughtered or butchered any of those French pronunciations. New Japan Pro Wrestling has officially confirmed Wrestle Kingdom 18. The flagship event for NJPW will once again take place on its traditional January 4th date from the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan in 2024. That draws to a conclusion round 2, and we are going to keep this gravy train rolling by moving right into round 3, which is our title matches. However, warning, this next segment may contain spoilers for your favorite promotions. Listen, but with caution. All right. MLW World Middleweight Champion Akira defeated Lince Dorado to retain the MLW World Middleweight Championship. MLW World Tag Team Champions, the Samoan SWAT Team, defeated the Second Gear Crew to retain the MLW World Tag Team titles. WWE United States Champion Austin Theory defeated Sheamus to retain the WWE United States Championship. NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton defeated Keilani Jordan to retain the NXT Women's Championship. MLW National Openweight Champion Jacob Fatu defeated Calvin Tankman to retain the MLW National Openweight Championship. MLW World Featherweight Champion Delmi Exo defeated WXW World Women's Champion Ava Everett to retain the MLW World Featherweight Championship and become the new WXW World Women's Champion. The Calling defeated MLW World Tag Team Champions, the Samoan SWAT Team, to become the new MLW World Tag Team Champions. MLW had multiple events this weekend and had multiple titles retained multiple times. Defended multiple times. Alex Kane defeated MLW World Heavyweight Champion Alex Hammerstone to become the new MLW World Heavyweight Champion. Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena defeated Ava Lawless to retain the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Ring of Honor Six-Man Tag Team Champions The Embassy defeated Matt Sydal, Darius Martin, and Christopher Daniels to retain the Ring of Honor Six-Man Tag Team titles. GCW World Champion Blake Christian defeated Richard Holiday to retain the GCW World Championship. GCW Tag Team Champions East West Express defeated Gringo Loco and Jack Cartwheel to retain the GCW Tag Team titles. GCW World Champion Blake Christian defeated Beastman to retain the GCW World Championship. GCW, just like MLW, had multiple events this past weekend and defended those titles multiple times across a couple different days. Enough of the title matches. Hopefully your favorite wrestler retained their title. If not, be sure to listen to Round 2 Wrestling again to hear those exclusive results again. We are at the end of Round 2 Wrestling, our fourth and final round. We are going to conclude with Did You Know Pro Wrestling Facts. Did you know is little bits of information and facts about the pro wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. You gotta love the bell. Did you know The Miz is a two-time Grand Slam champion in WWE, but also holds the record for most losses with over 1,300 and counting? In fact, The Miz hasn't finished a year with a winning record since 2010. Did you know the Nature Boy Ric Flair is the only wrestler to win PWI's Wrestler of the Year 6 times since the award's inception took place back in 1972? Did you know Paul Levesque, aka Triple H's pedigree finishing maneuver, starts out with the letter H being spelled out during the setup? Did you know Bruno Sammartino was once offered a role on The Sopranos, but turned it down once he discovered that there was swearing on the show? Bruno did not want to set a bad example to fans who still looked up to him. Did you know on November 28, 2002, then WWE Champion The Big Show was booked to defend his title against the Fabulous Moolah? The match was thrown out after outside interference from Brock Lesnar. Did you know Jay Lethal is the longest reigning African-American world champion of any kind? Lethal held onto the Ring of Honor world title for a record-setting 427 days. I am SlimmDa KID, and that is the conclusion of Round 2 Wrestling. Be sure to tune in next week as I bring you more news, more rumors, and more results from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa KID and Spreaker.com.